Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey, how's it going, guys? Josh Marsden here, host of the E-com Performance Marketing Show. I've got an awesome guest for you today. I've got Molly Pittman here. Now, Molly has been doing some fantastic things in the internet marketing world. She's been teaching hundreds, maybe even thousands of people how to advertise effectively and profitably using Facebook and Instagram. And she's just a phenomenal person. She's super smart, and she's got a lot she's going to share with you today. So, Molly, welcome to the show.
Hey Josh, thanks so much. I really appreciate you having me on as always. And hello to anybody watching this. Hopefully whatever we share today can help you grow your business or whatever your whatever situation you're in.
Definitely. Well, you know, for those that don't know you, do you think you can tell the audience a bit about like your origins, how you got started?
Yeah.
And how you got to where you're at right now, which is in Amsterdam.
Totally. Yeah. I live in Amsterdam now. I tell my story in hopes that it can show you guys how quickly things can progress, because I think that's a really cool aspect of this online world. There just aren't as many limitations as we used to have. And yeah, especially your career can progress really fast. Your business can progress really quickly because of the access to information that we have and the internet in general. So yeah, hopefully it's inspiring to you. But about 8 years ago, I found a Craigslist ad that was for a marketing internship at a company called Digital Marketer. The company had pretty much just started, and I don't know, something resonated with me with this Craigslist ad. Funny that I was on Craigslist looking for a job. I was currently bartending. I don't really know what I was doing, but I applied for this internship and I was hired. And that was really when I dove into the whole digital marketing space, because before then, I honestly didn't even own a laptop. I knew nothing about this stuff.
Wow.
So luckily I was able to work with some very smart people, acquire a lot of knowledge, see a lot of different businesses in action and really how you grow a business online. I first got into more of the organic social stuff, which was more of a thing back 8 years ago. That, of course, led me to paid advertising, which is what I really love to teach. And then I became the VP of marketing at Digital Marketer, started training, speaking around the world, producing courses and information to help people like you guys. And then a little bit, I guess 2.5 years ago now, I left Digital Marketer to start my own thing and to become an entrepreneur. And so that's looked like a few different scenarios, as I'm sure everyone can understand. But first, I kind of started an agency, consultancy. That wasn't really what I wanted. That wasn't the type of business I wanted to scale, and I missed teaching. So I partnered with my friend Ezra Firestone, who a lot of you guys in e-commerce probably are familiar with. If you're not, definitely check him out. And Ezra and I are producing trainings together. So they're called Train My Traffic Person, Team Traffic. I'll be helping with some other products in the Smart Marketer business too, but basically helping people like you guys grow your businesses using paid traffic or sharpen your paid traffic skills. And I still have a few clients that I work with. I now more so do equity deals with people where I'm able to run their ads. Smart. And, really grow the business and it to be a long-term play and not as much of a time for money play, which I'm not great at. So that is sort of the last 8 years in a nutshell, Josh.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. It can show you guys, you can go from bartender to multiple 7-figure entrepreneur, honestly,
What's your favorite
such
bourbon?
a short amount of time. Oh, my favorite bourbon is definitely Weller. And that's from Buffalo Trace. So I did work at a distillery called Buffalo Trace when I was in college, and I believe they make the best bourbon.
Nice. I'll have to check it. I'll ask you afterwards so I get the name down. But
Cool.
So what I love about your story is that, you had a golden opportunity, 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that, opportunities come and go. It's a matter of, are you ready and are you going to work? And that's what you did. You were ready and you worked. I mean, you hustled. And that's why like you climbed through the ranks at digital marketer, became VP of marketing. And that's why you've also been able to transition into success afterwards, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I'd love to kind of ask a somewhat offshoot question here, because you really caught my interest when you said that, now you're working privately with maybe a few clients on more equity arrangements. Like I've explored that a little bit personally, and but I haven't like actually done it because there's always been some sort of concern, or it's just been basically like distracting my focus, from my core business. So how did you, if you could maybe share your experience in regards to how you kind of brokered, those arrangements, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, good question. So none of the arrangements began that way, because that's jumping into marriage on the first date type of stuff. So I'm just going to preface that. Actually, I'm going to use one example. It's a Christian apparel brand. And David, who started the company, using examples just helps me further explain to you guys. David was actually a student. So Ezra and I had a workshop last May in Denver that he came to. And so I got to know him, which is key with any sort of even performance-based pay, is to make sure that you actually enjoy working with that person, because it's a lot less cut and dry than you pay me this set retainer every month. Performance is going to go up. It's going to go down. I mean, you're committing to sort of go along the ride with this other human or these other humans, and you want to make sure that you feel you're going to work together well and that you can have those hard conversations. So that is why a lot of these people, or every person that I'm working with in this model, under this model, are people that I've known before. So David was a student, and then we got to know each other. Another one that's coming to mind, he was actually a retainer client when I first got started, right? When I left digital marketer, that worked really well. He started some other businesses, and so that made sense. So I guess what I'm saying is, it's people that are kind of at the end of your customer journey. And also, I think what's important is businesses where maybe they're in a certain scenario that's keeping them from scaling ads, and possibly they don't have the cash flow to maybe pay a retainer, but it's a market that you're interested in, maybe you've had experience in, and you really feel like you can help them. So for example, with this Christian apparel brand, David bootstrapped this business. He's gotten it to a great proof of concept here. It's working. When he came to me, I think he had just done about 200K in sales the first year that he started the shop, which is fantastic for apparel. And he was already running ads. So I knew that there was proof of concept here. So I knew that taking my skill set that I've acquired over the last 8 years was just going to be fuel to this fire. I wasn't starting from scratch. This wasn't a business where there wasn't proof of concept. And I already have a lot of experience in that market, in the Christian market. I've worked on a few other projects. So I pretty much know the targeting. I know the messaging that relates. I have experience in that way too. So anyways, awesome. I think it's complex. I don't really have like one way that I decide on this, but it's definitely people that you already know, like, trust. They have proof of concept, and you know that you have a particular skill set. So another example of this is a business owner who, before working with me, was only relying on affiliate traffic. And so to be able to add paid media that they essentially owned as a traffic source, that's so worth giving a piece of their business. And just finding scenarios like that where you make enough of a difference and you're willing to work on it for long enough to where you deserve equity in that business. And that will look like different percentages of equity and depending on how you work that out. So
Yeah.
definitely not something you want to do just getting started because you got to pay the bills, but
Totally.
nice to have a few of those in your back pocket, just looking out for the long term. And with those, the goals are different. For the apparel brand, we want to be able to sell that in a few years. And it's fun to be a part of long-term plays like that.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. It's interesting to me because, we charge a pretty high ticket, retainer, 5,000, 10,000 a month plus an ROI bonus, off of ad spend, which is obviously totally different. And there's been, a few equity opportunities that have been presented to me that I haven't necessarily dove into. But there's one in particular that I am interested in because I believe in the product. I like the guy, I've got a good relationship with him. And I definitely know that I can help him. The challenge I think is just in the advertising budget side and just the capital side between us, I think, and that's why I think we need a third partner. So, but it's interesting hearing what you've said in regards to how you kind of create those opportunities and you create those relationships, and it definitely makes sense to do it after you've had some sort of established relationship because you are. Even though there's a higher upside, you are risking a lot up front.
Absolutely.
Because you're putting a lot of free time without a retainer or something into helping that business be successful. And so you want to obviously, enjoy the market, enjoy the product, enjoy the company of the person you're working with. Those I think all have to kind of factor in if you're going to do that.
Yeah. And so just the risk, I'm only investing my time in businesses that I really feel like this is going to grow quickly and this is going to pay off. So definitely something a little further down your funnel if you're looking at it that way, guys, as an agency or freelancer.
Yeah. Nice. So switching to e-com, that was an awesome topic. Lots of value there. Switching to e-com, what's been your biggest e-com success to date? And if you can give us maybe some details behind that, that would be great.
Ooh, okay. That's a good question. So I don't know if this is the biggest success to date, but along the lines of the Christian apparel brand, I'd love to share something that's been working. And I think this is a cool concept. It's not a new concept, but, again, this is an apparel brand where we're wanting to sell hoodies, t-shirts, hats, coasters. We've got a ton of different items and lots of different styles that we're selling, right? And the hook here is that these designs, they start conversations about the religion. So one of them is a bear holding a pineapple, and it's talking about, the ability to bear fruit, which leads into a Bible verse. And it's just, David is this avatar that would purchase, he's a, sort of new age Christian, I would call it. He is the avatar. So he creates amazing designs. I'm not necessarily the avatar, but that's why I need him, right? Because he understands what this market wants. And so a funnel that's been working really well for us right now, because it's not super scalable to take these designs and just send them direct to the product page or direct to the collections page. I mean, that's a good place to start and to get proof of concept. But I knew I needed something that was a bit more scalable in terms of my ability to acquire a high volume of new customers, not necessarily a return on ad spend play, but I just need to get people in the door. Because what he does really well, what we do really well, is the monetization side. Because we're always releasing these designs, every month we have a flash sale opportunity. We do a huge Q4 holiday sale. This Q4, he did 10 times more revenue than he did that time last year. And a lot of that was because of this funnel I'm about to tell you guys about, which is really simple, but it allowed us to acquire customers at break even throughout last year. So all we were doing was taking our best design, the bear fruit design that I told you about a minute ago, and a lot of people love stickers of this bear fruit, and they put it on their laptop, they put it on their car. And so we have a free plus shipping funnel where they can get a free sticker. They just need to pay shipping. And once someone starts through the checkout process here, we also have some order bumps. So they could buy a 5-pack, a 10-pack, even a 50-pack, because people like to buy high quantity and then hand them out at youth group or church and things like that. So because of that order bump, we're actually able to break even on this funnel. A sticker or stickers is low in cost. Shipping is not outrageous. It's variable based off of where that person lives. We're not charging like $20 for shipping like a lot of people do with the free plus shipping offer, which I think is kind of lying and cheating. But anyways, it's truly free plus shipping. And that order bump allows the average order value to be a bit higher. We do have some immediate upsells that we're offering through OCU, one-click upsell, Ezra's product. And that is the hoodie version with this design on it, the hat, the t-shirt. So some different physical products. Obviously, they like that design or they wouldn't have purchased this sticker. So maybe they're willing to buy another item here. And through this funnel, like I said, we are able to break even. And that is a beautiful thing for a media buyer, because I am looking to acquire as many customers as I can, because I know all this monetization on the back end is where we're actually going to make money in this business. So this free plus shipping funnel, just last year, and I only worked on this business, he and I only worked on this business the last 6 months of the year together, we acquired over 25,000 new customers just through that particular funnel, which where that business is in the current stage that it is, that's a huge game changer, right?
Yeah,
versus
sure.
if we were only relying on direct to product page or direct to collections page, which we still do that too, it would have been more like 2,000 new customers, right? The return on ad spend is a little bit nicer, but the volume of new customers is much lower. And so this is the reason that Q4 was so magical, because we had already built this relationship. We had all of these new customers we generated this year. And so what we're doing this year is using that same funnel, but just scaling out with our other popular designs. So there are people that don't want the bear fruit. They want other designs, and we're able to speak to that part of the market. And we're currently just scaling by acquiring more buyers at break even through this simple funnel that's working really well. So
that's awesome.
I'm pumped about that.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And from a really quick, Josh, sorry, from an ad standpoint, another reason it works so well is because you're showing up in the newsfeed giving value, right? Hey, we want to give this free sticker because we want you to trust us. We want you to see what our products are like. We want you to go spread this message that we're wanting to spread, versus, hey, you don't know us. Do you want to buy a hoodie? You know, like showing up with that, giving that value, even though it's just a free sticker, the social proof on those ads is humongous and people want to share it with their friends. And so Facebook's rewarding us in a big way. So it's another reason that any type of funnel where you're leading with free plus shipping or even a lead magnet or anything like that, it's just going to work so much better on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Smart. Yeah. I mean, triple F funnels, if they're done really well, they can pay off and they can definitely get you, customers at break even or slightly better, if done well. And obviously, in the right hands, like your hands, it's going to be done very, very well. So that's awesome. That's really cool to hear. And you guys really blew it up, it sounds like, at the end of the year last year then, because you generate all those customers leading up to that big promo to end the year, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't have a lot to do with it, but David, my business partner, basically ran Ezra's blueprint for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, New Year. I mean, we basically ran a variation of a sale from the beginning of November through the 1st of January. And yeah, I mean, it was the best 2 months of David's life, because he's like, look, all of this is paying off, and let's keep doing more of this. So I think that's what's different with e-com than other business types, is that Q4 is not that big of a deal in most other businesses, especially B2B. And with e-commerce, you have to remember that is the game. In my opinion, is using the entire year to just acquire as many customers as you can, so that Q4 can really pop off, as the cool kids say.
Nice. What was the final figure like from, say, Black Friday week to the end of the year, if you mind to ask?
I don't remember exactly what he did in that period, or what we did in that period. I would have to look, but He said it was 10 times more than he had done last holiday season. So really exciting for him.
Yeah,
totally.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. I know the holidays were challenging and stressful for me. But it was fine. I held it together. It was all good. And the team held it together. But we serve ecom businesses, right? Mm-hmm. So that last month was just like work. There was like very little time off. I took a vacation in January afterwards.
Quiet time.
But during that time, it was just like hustle. So
and I more so spend that time getting ready for January, because for me, like as a media buyer, January is my favorite month of the year because all of the advertisers have just spent a shit ton of budget on Q4 stuff. And it's the cheapest traffic out there. So what we did with Boom, Ezra's cosmetic company this year, is their Q4 was super planned. It was more on autopilot than it's ever been. And so that allowed us to focus more on what are we going to do for cold traffic acquisition January 1st, because we know traffic's going to be cheap. And he just had his best month ever. And it wasn't in Q4, it was in January. Wow. So, Facebook ads still work. Cold acquisition is still possible. It's just knowing what you're doing. And same thing there. The reason that works is we lead with a pre-sale article, 5 makeup tips for women over the age of 50, leading with that value first. And then, that leads into the rest of the journey.
Totally. Yeah. That's what we preach on the show. It's what I preach in, the books. So yeah, absolutely. So I'd love if we can maybe dive into a few strategies, tactics that you feel like are kind of unique to what you do, with the companies that you've been involved with in the e-commerce space. What are some examples of like strategies and tactics that you've used? And they could be simple, they could be complex, but just stuff that people can test themselves and they can try to use in their own e-commerce businesses. Do you have some maybe strategies or tactics that you could possibly share?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that comes to mind that I'm doing a lot of testing with right now is SMS. And using, obviously, SMS has been around for a while. I just haven't paid a lot of attention to it. So the last few months, really focusing on building SMS lists, seeing how that ecosystem works. This wasn't for e-commerce, but we recently did a launch for a course that we teach, and it was huge, the results that we were able to get. And all we did, and this could apply to e-commerce too, is for whenever we were asking for contact information, instead of just asking for phone, first name, last name, email address, we added phone number and we started collecting those phone numbers. And then as the launch progressed, we used SMS to remind people of the next step. Hey, we've got a webinar coming up. Hey, watch the replay. Hey, this class is open. But what I was most impressed with was the amount of consultative selling that we were able to do through SMS, and people that had questions that probably wouldn't have even asked them if there wasn't SMS. There is a channel. People don't want to call. They don't want to email in. So they're most likely to just continue on with their day. But because we had this phone number in ads, I had an ad that said, hey, text me. The phone number was on the sales page, on the website, and emails. People were texting this number. It was showing up inside of ManyChats, so the team and I could respond. And we were able to overcome a lot of objections to purchase that resulted in like $50K of extra revenue that I don't believe we would have had without SMS. Of course, I can't completely prove that because there are lots of touch points that these people had with us before they bought, but I know that it helped in a big way. And so the cool thing about SMS, especially inside of ManyChat, is that it can be automated just like a messenger bot. So, just adding it into places in your customer journey, maybe when someone adds to cart and they abandon the cart and you've already, wherever you're asking for their email address, also ask for their phone number and shoot them a text and say, hey, it looks like you abandoned cart. You can set up conditions like if the cart value is over $100, give them a 20% off discount. I mean, there's so much really exciting stuff that can be done with SMS. And it's not a magic pill. It's not the solution to a problem. It's just a channel that's very personal that people want to use. That is a preference for most humans out there. And it's about taking it and putting it into a place or multiple places in your business and the touch points with your customers and just adding that on as a channel. So I think we generated about 8,000 phone numbers for this launch. I was able to broadcast to them, drive a lot more traffic back to the sales page, the webinar page. People were able to respond. I mean, we had over 500 conversations with people. And as we move forward, all of that can be automated, right? A lot of you guys are thinking, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a pain. It's like, no, this is a prove then automate situation. Now I know the 10 questions they're asking, and I can automate this whole thing. So I don't know if that's exciting, but it's just testing new channels like this, because Facebook Messenger, Facebook is really tightening up on Messenger and the restrictions and the regulations. And I understand why they're doing that, but it's making the channel a little bit less sexy for marketers. And there are still restrictions around SMS, and you can't just do whatever you want. But wow, I'm really excited about the initial results that I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I mean, SMS can pay off. I mean, we use it with our funnel, but we also have used it with other clients as well. And SMS is great. I haven't tested SMS specifically in ManyChat. We've typically used outside, services to do SMS, but it's cool to hear how you're using ManyChat in an in that example, and how you're using it with the layered modalities of, Facebook Messenger plus SMS. And, those two, Facebook Messenger and SMS, we both know this, they have the highest open and click-through rates out of any modality currently versus like email, ads, et cetera. And so, those are channels that people should be definitely leveraging. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from that, is that, you definitely want to leverage those channels, and you want to add that customer service element to it too, because that does lead to more sales, as long as you can obviously handle the conversation. Then you have to, create the time or the processes or the team to be able to do that.
Of course. Yeah, it's exciting, and just keeping up. I mean, humans, we are evolving every day, and our needs are evolving, and our behaviors are changing. And so that's our job as marketers. I'll have conversations, and in 10 years, who knows what platforms we're going to be talking about. And, I'm just along for the ride and happy to use whatever the kids are using these days.
TikTok. You advertise on TikTok yet?
No, I haven't yet. But I have chatted with people that have, and keeping my pulse on it, but not ready to test it out yet.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, cool. Well, is there? Go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing. This isn't super ninja or anything like that, but I think this is really important for e-commerce companies, is that because we're selling physical products that someone can touch and hold, like that's a benefit, because they're more likely to buy from us, because there's less of that trust factor of like, I'm buying information or coaching or something I can't touch. I really need to like trust this person. And you get what I'm saying, Josh? Like that's a huge benefit of e-commerce, right? Because it's a much easier sale. But because of that, most e-commerce advertisers, they don't go deep enough in their advertising as they should, right? They think that they can just put 5 stars up there and say, hey, this is the best coffee mug ever. Like, look at the handle, go buy this right now. And this mistake has been made for forever. And so the best way to overcome this, especially if you're selling physical products, because you still do need and want to show the thing because that's what you're selling, is to make sure you're getting really, really good customer testimonials or ambassador testimonials. And I'll tell you what I mean by that here in a second. So the reason that Boom, back to Ezra's company, had the best January ever, one of the big reasons is this one Facebook campaign. And the campaign spent about $500,000 in January, just this one campaign. The return was $950,000. This is an acquisition campaign that's built to break even, and it has this huge It's doing really well. And the reason for that is a lot of things, but mostly the ads. And so these ads are people who are either customers or ambassadors. So basically, what's the word I'm looking for? Influencers that you would normally pay to like promote your product to their audience. Ezra looks at it differently. He's like, no, I don't necessarily need you to promote my product to your audience. I want to pay you for content or give you a gift certificate in exchange for some videos. And the reason for that is this is someone who's already consumed the product. They know why they like it. They look like the women who we're targeting, right? They look like women over the age of 50. And the prompts that we're able to give them really not force them, but prompt them to go a lot deeper into why someone should buy the product, then this is the best makeup on the market. And so what they're doing is they're building relationships with these people, Ezra's team, and then they're having them shoot video that answer questions like, what was your life like before Boom? Like, tell us what your makeup routine was like. How did your skin feel? Okay, what's your life like after Boom? How much less time are you spending putting your makeup on? So this is a really simple tip, guys. And this could be in form of you reaching out. This could be a survey that you send out to your audience. But the key is when asking for feedback, because when selling physical products, we need really detailed testimonials, right? Women that are like, oh my goodness, my skin was so dry and I had all these problems and, I felt like my husband hadn't paid attention to me in 20 years. And when you start to ask these questions is when they actually go deep into why they bought that product, right? And when you have testimonials and ad copy like that, that's what works because they're buying always for a reason that's so much more than we think. It's so much more surface, or it's so much deeper than this surface that we think is there. And so just prompting your customers or ambassadors, wherever you're getting this user-generated content from, with really good questions to answer. This isn't against the law. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just way better than going, hey, this is the best mug in the world. I love it. Buy it. Now I'm going to answer what life was like before. So I'm speaking to that undesirable before state, right? I'm talking about life after, and now I have this amazing content. So that is the difference. The targeting hasn't changed. The objective hasn't changed. The pre-sale article hasn't changed. For Boom to have this wildly successful campaign, the only thing that changed is we got some new, really in-depth testimonials and user-generated content that the market is very much resonating with. And that was the huge difference. So I think especially since everybody here is physical product, e-commerce, just that's key. When you're getting feedback on your products and testimonials, ask really good questions that is going to draw out the deep reason and the actual transformation that your product provided for that person, because that's what's going to speak to the end consumer that you're targeting on Facebook and Instagram.
Yep. It's all about creating that emotional impact, in the creative. How did you guys get those testimonials, from some of the customers? I mean, it sounds like you had videos, in addition to possibly some written before and afters, right?
So a part of after someone purchases, a few weeks after they purchase, there's an email that goes out that offers them an Amazon gift card in exchange for a video testimonial. And then of course, we'll just take, some of what they say in video and turn it into written text. So awesome. It's just a part of the follow-up series. And then any influencers or any customers that maybe comment on the page and seem really enthusiastic, customer service will just reach out and say, hey, we would love you to become an ambassador. So they get free product in exchange for these.
That's a huge tip that someone watching this can implement right away into their business. it's going to make a big difference. And I'm assuming the gift card wasn't like a big value. It wasn't like
no, like a $10 Amazon
yeah, it
gift
was like
card.
$10. Yeah, but people just love free stuff, and yeah.
And if they
awesome.
truly like your product and you're really providing something that they align with from a value standpoint, they want to tell people about it. But
Totally.
you know, that's important because Ezra obviously doesn't look like this person. Like we need to show through video people that are that avatar, and it's a great way to get their stories out there.
Yeah, that's cool. So cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's a huge tip that, you know, can really lead to some awesome creatives to do a really good job of acquiring customers and getting customers to also come back after they have bailed, or just getting customers to come back and purchase a second or third time. So,
Absolutely.
You know, that's a really incredible tip. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. So we're going to move into the bonus round right now. Now, this is a little fun exercise we go through at the end of every interview. Here's the catch. The catch is that you have to answer every question with only one word.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay. What caused your biggest e-com success to date?
Focus.
Okay. What advice do you have for other e-com business owners or entrepreneurs watching this?
One word.
Yep.
I can't say focus again.
I mean, you could.
One word of advice. Avatars.
Ooh, I like it. Okay. How would you describe yourself?
Happy.
Awesome. Yep, I can see that. And then what do you see in your future?
Expansiveness.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a new word. All right. Well, good deal. Well, for those watching, this episode, how can they reach out to you? How can they find out more? How can they follow you? How can they even become a student?
Yeah, check out mollypittman.com. That will be launching in the next few weeks. You can follow me on Instagram at Molly Pittman Digital. That's where I'm most active on social media. You can also check out our 4-month mentorship at trainmytrafficperson.com. And we don't open up the next class until August, but we do have a wait list. So opt in and we'll keep you updated on all the fun stuff to come.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys,
thanks, Josh.
Follow Molly. Molly definitely knows her stuff. She's a veteran. She's super smart and she's super giving. She's giving you a lot of value today. So definitely go follow her on Instagram. Go sign up for her waiting list. This way you could be a part of the upcoming enrollment class in August, I believe it was. But you definitely want to follow Molly. She's one of the movers and shakers in the industry, and she's a good person to know as well. So thank you, Molly, for being on the show. I truly appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, thanks, Josh, and good luck, everybody. Talk soon.
Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.